Before talking about the Dorsy Trophy Cup, we want to remember Ernesto Dorsy. As everybody knows, he passed away a few months ago. We will hear some memory of his friends and short extract of his last interview made it in Bali in 2013. If you want, you can find this interview, the original interview, in another video. Can you tell to everybody your memories of Ernesto?
Just a few minutes ago, we had in our meeting, we had the commemoration, the first official commemoration of Ernesto, because it's very difficult to think that last year, in these days in Sanya, we were all together to work for the championship and watching the picture with all the members, Ernesto included, and also we had to add also Jean-Claude Benex. It's very sad because we miss him, and above all in these days we miss him. We miss his presence, his advice, his authoritative personality.
The best way he tried to inoculate the poison, between commas, the bridge poison in the youngsters, and because later perhaps they will be back.
He was a very good friend, very nice guy. I remember once he came to Stockholm at the World Championship for pairs, and he knew I had a new daughter. So he said, "How is your little daughter?" And I said, "Well, she's very nice, but of course she's a little monster." And he nodded, said knowingly, yes, they all are. And then after a pause he said, "It will get worse all the time," he said. He had 3 daughters himself, and so he knew. I saw his daughters later in Sao Paulo. He was wrong. They were not worse. All lovable like himself. A great guy.
Well, of course, Ernesto Dorsy was one of the very great gentlemen of bridge and admired throughout the world. I think I first met him in 1989 when the World Junior Championships were held in Nottingham, and Argentina was there as a team with Ernesto Dorsy. And of course, he earned the respect of everyone from then on. I did have a small quarrel with Ernesto in recent years because he was the arbitrator for the new victory point scale, which has 2 decimal points, something which is not popular with the journalists. But apart from that, I have every respect for anything that Ernesto did in his bridge career as a politician and as a player and as an administrator.
Bridge is always an integration between the past, the present and the future.
Well, I only have good and sweet memories about Ernesto because he and José were the ones who wanted me in this position when I was young to this job. And he was a very, very good friend of mine. I've been in his house in São Paulo. I've shared with him many times. It is just too sad that he's not here anymore. And I was almost in tears yesterday when at the captain's meeting I asked the players to honor his memory.
I would love to win my cup, mainly because the trophy is beautiful. And I hope this will happen. At least I think I can play bridge for the next 6, 7, 8 years, and perhaps I have a chance to win my cup. Yes, I would love to do that.
Well, it goes back so many years. I don't quite remember which Bermuda Bowl we first met. I know that Ernesto and I have been together in at least some 35 World Championships, and his passing away is something that still hurts a lot. And I think that Bridge will miss one of the most consistently dedicated men to bridge that we have ever met. It's a real shame, a real pity that he's gone. We miss him. I'll miss him forever.
It's terrible. Ernesto was used to say it's terrible, but for once it's more than terrible. Because you know, Ernesto was maybe the greatest friend that I have in the world of bridge. We just start together in 78 in Rio de Janeiro. And we share a lot of events, but also one time we went for a cruise in between Greece and Turkey. We were invited there by Jimmy Ortiz Patino, very well-known and former president of the WBF. And we were very good friends, Ernesto and I, with Jimmy. However, Jimmy put us on side for 4 years when he chose to have Dennis Howard as president. Nevertheless, we went together, Ernesto, his wife, and my wife and myself, from Le Pirée to Istanbul, and while we were there to Istanbul, Ernesto told me, "But look, this Jimmy was terrible, but that was great. He offered us a nice vacation," and that was true. That was a marvelous cruise indeed, and that's a great souvenir of Ernesto, Cecilia, for Monique and myself. Yes.
Thank you, Jose. This was our memories of a great man, Ernesto Dorsy. I can tell you a lot of things about him, but the Dorsy Trophy continues. So tomorrow we can start to talk about bridge.
All we need